It was a rainy Thursday afternoon, the kind of day when the sky seemed to leak melancholy and the streets glistened with a slick, reflective sheen. Inside a cozy living room in Belfast, Jamie O'Donnell sat cross-legged on the floor, his eyes glued to the glowing screen of his latest obsession, a newly released open-world video game. The room was littered with empty energy drink cans and crumpled snack wrappers, testaments to a night spent battling digital dragons and solving cryptic puzzles. Jamie considered himself a connoisseur of all things gaming, a title he wore like armor. Little did he know, his expertise was about to be tested in a way no high score, achievement trophy, or secret level could prepare him for. It started with a notification pinging on his phone. "You've been nominated for a special episode of The Chase." Jamie blinked. At first, he thought it was a prank. His cousin Liam had sent him all sorts of ridiculous quizzes before, claiming he had insider connections with TV shows. But the notification wasn't a link to a meme. It was official. The email gleamed with the BBC logo. And there, in bold letters, it read, "Prepare for a quiz that even the most die-hard fans may struggle with." Jamie laughed nervously. "Die-hard fans, huh? Let's see about that," he muttered, already imagining himself breezing through the challenge while Darragh Ennis, the egghead known for his encyclopedic knowledge, looked on with a slightly impressed smirk. The day of filming arrived faster than Jamie expected. The studio lights burned like mini suns, and the hum of cameras and crew filled the space. Contestants whispered nervously, some practicing their answers under their breath. Jamie, however, felt a calm confidence. He had spent years memorizing cheat codes, reading lore forums, and completing speedruns. Surely he was ready. Then Darragh Ennis walked in. Jamie froze. The man was a living encyclopedia with a calm intensity that made it clear that he had absorbed more knowledge than most people would in 3 lifetimes. His green eyes scanned the contestants briefly before he gave a small, almost imperceptible nod. The quizmaster looked harmless enough, but Darragh had seen Darragh's interviews online. He knew the man had a reputation, a strategist who could ask a question that sounded simple but was impossibly layered. The host, a perky and energetic figure with a microphone in hand, introduced the segment. "Today, our egghead, Darragh Ennis, has prepared a video game quiz unlike anything you've seen. Even seasoned players might struggle. Contestants, are you ready?" Jamie's heart raced, but he smiled confidently. "Bring it on," he whispered. The first few questions were straightforward. Trivia about game releases, legendary characters, and iconic soundtracks. Jamie answered quickly, fingers tapping the buzzer like a pianist. He could feel the slight glances of the other contestants, measuring him, wondering if he was indeed the gamer prodigy he seemed. Then came the curveball. Darragh adjusted his glasses, leaned slightly forward, and in a calm, deliberate tone said, "In the 1997 game Golden Horizons, the protagonist collects 3 rare artifacts, each guarded by a mythical creature. In the Japanese release, the order of these guardians was intentionally shuffled compared to the international version. Name the second guardian in the Japanese release and describe the color of the artifact it protects." Jamie froze. He blinked and then tried to search through the mental archive of every RPG he had ever played. Golden Horizons? He had beaten it on multiple platforms. He had read every fan theory online. He could describe every weapon, map, and Easter egg, but this question? He had no clue. The buzzer felt heavy in his hands. He swallowed and muttered a guess. The dragon? Red? Darragh's eyes twinkled with a mix of amusement and intrigue. He said evenly, "Incorrect." The studio erupted in a small chorus of gasps and murmurs. Other contestants exchanged incredulous looks, as if to say, "Did anyone get that?" It was a wake-up call. This was no ordinary quiz. This was Darragh Ennis's personal labyrinth of obscure gaming trivia, a gauntlet designed to weed out even the most devoted players. The next few rounds escalated in intensity. Jamie faced questions about lost beta versions of games, hidden developer notes, and obscure in-game dialogues only hardcore speedrunners would know. One question asked him to recite the cheat code for a secret vehicle in a 1980s racing game released only in Italy. Another required identifying the voice actor for a non-playable character in a cancelled sequel of a cult favorite RPG. Jamie's confidence wavered. Yet, despite the difficulty, he noticed a pattern. Darragh didn't just ask for rote memorization. Each question had a subtle twist, a pattern, a hidden clue in the phrasing, a trap for the overconfident. He realized that while he knew a lot, he needed to think like Darragh, analytically, strategically, almost like decoding a game puzzle rather than recalling a trivia fact. The final round arrived, and Jamie found himself head-to-head with a rival contestant, a quiet young woman named Priya, who had remained eerily composed the entire time. Darragh's final question was posed, and the studio seemed to hold its collective breath. In the 2005 puzzle platformer Echoes of Time, there is a hidden room, accessible only on February 29th during a leap year. Within that room, a secret message appears in binary code on a wall, spelling out a phrase when decoded. Provide the exact phrase and explain the significance of its font choice in relation to the original game's development team. Jamie's mind raced. He remembered hearing about the leap year room in forums, but had never attempted to access it himself. He could picture the room vividly, even the faint pattern on the wall. But the exact binary phrase and the font? This question was genius. Darragh had layered knowledge, observation, and attention to subtle detail into one intricate puzzle. Priya buzzed in first. Her answer was detailed and correct. Jamie felt a pang of envy mixed with awe. He realized the truth. Darragh wasn't just testing knowledge, he was testing creativity, memory, and the ability to connect obscure dots under pressure. Every contestant was learning something, even if they didn't get the question right. As the segment wrapped up, Darragh leaned back, a slight smile on his face. He said, "Some questions will stump you, but every question has a story. Remember that. The game isn't just about winning. It's about understanding the world it builds." And Jamie left the studio in a daze. Rain pattered gently on his jacket as he walked to the car, the streets now a mirror of neon reflections. He didn't win the top prize, but he didn't feel defeated. For the first time, he understood that gaming wasn't just about achievements, high scores, or completing every level. It was about curiosity, observation, and the thrill of uncovering secrets no one else had noticed. That night, Jamie sat back in his living room, the glow of his console reflecting in his eyes. He pulled up Golden Horizons again, determined to revisit the Japanese release, to explore the Guardians in their original order, and to decode every hidden message he had missed. Darragh Ennis's quiz reminded him of why he played games in the first place, not just to win, but to explore, to question, and to discover. And somewhere in the quiet hum of the console, Jamie smiled. He might never remember the binary phrase from Echoes of Time, or the exact color of a mythical artifact in a Japanese game release, but he had learned something more valuable, that mastery wasn't just about knowing everything. It was about the relentless pursuit of the unknown and the joy of chasing it, even when Darragh Ennis made sure the path was impossible. And so, as the rain continued outside, Jamie dove back into the world of games, eager for every challenge, ready to chase every secret, and quietly grateful that someone like Darragh Ennis existed, someone who could remind even die-hard fans that the game, in its deepest sense, never truly ended.